I was completely wrong about Link's Awakening. I played it at E3, I followed the trailers, I thought this is a Game Boy game remade for $60. How could that possibly work out in a way where I love it? But I was totally wrong, and I just want to talk to you guys today about how much freaking fun I've been having with Link's Awakening. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force, and this game has taken me completely by surprise. And I think that's the best case scenario. I love when a game comes up, you think you're not gonna like it, you try it anyways because everyone's talking about it, and then boom, it wins your heart over wonderfully. And Link's Awakening does so much so right. I'm lucky enough that I haven't played the game before, because I feel like if you have experienced Link's Awakening, then maybe you don't feel as great about dropping $60 on a game that costs $6 on the 3DS Virtual Console, but we'll get there later in the video. Right now, I just want to focus on how magical and whimsical this game is. I think it's such a departure from what we've seen in gaming lately, and even on Switch, because where every other game seems to go massive, Link's Awakening just... You like Link's Awakening too? Kitty. Are there any cats in Link's Awakening? There are a bunch of clever, cute characters, and I do love how you've got an alligator who's trying to hoard canned food and give you some bananas. I like that the pets talk in the animal village. I like that Marin tries to sing, even if it's the same tune over and over. And I love that the dad of the boys gets lost in the mountain. There's so many clever, quirky characters, and it's this entire vibe that permeates throughout the game, where you're enjoying this magical little dream. And the presentation here is a dream, because everything's just incredible. I love the music. I hum along with the little tunes, and I'm not even normally an audio guy. It's just really fun here. I love it, and I love the art style. It feels like the little amiibo is moving through the game to meet other amiibos. And yeah, I know that the amiibo is based on the game, not the other way around, but it's got that little action figure feel, which I think works so well. And the game is just pure game. There aren't loading screens, not a bunch of finicky menus, you just play it. And they really expect you to play it, because there's not a whole lot of guidance given here, which is where its old school sensibilities come to the forefront, and it's fun. I'm used to being telegraphed through an adventure, my hand held, waypoints everywhere, and here, it's got a little bit of trickiness to it. There's some clever aspects to how you progress through this world, but it works so well because it's contained. Whereas so many other Switch adventures have gone massive in scope and scale, Link's Awakening keeps everything in a pretty small square. But I love that because you learn the map so early on, and you scratch it away like it's a lotto ticket, uncovering a new hidden prize of a different area, a different dungeon, and a different place to memorize. I've got the map committed to memory. I know exactly how to get to Martha's Bay or the Witch's Hut or the Crane Game House from anywhere, and that's an awesome feeling. It adds to immersion and it adds to comfortability so quickly because you recognize locales. And then if something's amiss, like maybe there's a bombable wall or a waterway that you can't access, you know you're gonna get there soon. I think by keeping it small scale, it increases the importance of all the different places and all the nuances within those places, because you notice something that you can't access and that stands out. You're like, I gotta get there, I gotta figure it out. And the game does kind of telegraph like, hey, there's all these waterways, you can't get in them yet, you're probably gonna get something to help you swim. But that's okay, because it feels more like a donut dangling from a tree, a delicious bite that you can't wait to enjoy, rather than a spoiler. It's like the game is letting you know, hey, there's a bunch of cool stuff that you're about to unlock. The map is like an onion. It sits there, all before you at the start, but as you peel it back and add more to your arsenal, you uncover new layers that help add depth and excitement to the already existing spaces. Link's Awakening has such great pacing and such a good feel of how much resistance to apply to the player, because you'll see those waterways and know you got to go swimming in order to enter the Angler Dungeon. It's right around the corner. You don't have to wait too long. It's not like it's taunting you with something hours and hours down the line. It just unfolds itself so nicely. The dungeons are so much fun. It's like a reward every time you find a slime key or angler key and know you're about to enter a new temple. And they're not that difficult, like progress is almost assured, but there's just enough pushback, just enough challenge to keep them very interesting. I feel like the dungeon diving experience is purely enjoyable. It's so nice to move through and be stumped here or there, but for the most part, just go. The game just goes and goes and goes, and you get something new, face a new boss, uncover a new way to solve a puzzle, find a new enemy, hear from Hoot, my favorite owl in the world. I love that this game sets expectations early, and then you fall into a routine. It's like a great routine game. You get comfortable with the flow, and it just repeats itself, which doesn't feel repetitive, but rather reassuring, and you get more and more of something good, which is awesome. There's so much clever game design here as well. All the perks that you pick up are great to use, whether it's the hook shot or the little Pegasus boots that allow you to jump so far and sprint across the map. I love the jump, by the way. Watching Link somersault across the world and hop over halls it's incredible. It makes me wish that Link could do this in every one of his adventures. And the animations on Link himself, they're just so perfect. I'll be rolling through a tunnel and I'll accidentally drop him off a ledge, I'll lose a heart, but it doesn't even matter because his expressions are priceless. You get to see that, and it's just so good every single time. I mean, the mini-bosses with their easy-to-identify patterns, the wide variety of crazy creatures scattered across the land, it's just oozing with charm and lovability. Except those one dudes that crawl out of the ground by the cemetery, I don't like them. We haven't even mentioned the Mario inclusions. Early in the game, you get a pet Chain Chomp. It broke my heart to let that guy go, because I loved watching him gobble up enemies. He did a lot more work here than he does in Super Mario, which I found interesting, but there's Goombas in the tunnels. There's bloopers beneath the earth. It's freaking awesome to see the crossover, and I know it's no surprise because it was done years and years ago, but it's kind of remarkable that something from decades before is this much fun today. It's a testament to Nintendo always nailing gameplay. They nail gameplay because that stands the test of time. Graphics may not. Obviously, they've made a huge upgrade here. Storytelling, little nuances, multiplayer, online, all of that is constantly evolving. But gameplay, if it's good, it's good. And here, it reigns supreme. But even with it being old and bite-sized, the story is pretty fun. I think it's because they decided to go quirky. You're acquiring instruments to wake a giant fish atop a mountain. All the characters seem a little off, a little odd. I mentioned you got an alligator and pets in an animal village, and Marin trying to hum her tunes. You got kids who are ornery and a mom who loves her Chain Chomp dog. And that pesky owl is always giving you guidance. Heck, there's even bird statues within the dungeons. You unlock beaks and put the beaks on the birds for clues. It's pretty cool, kind of weird, but adds to the overall mystery of this game. I'm sure the plot is pretty simple once all is said and done, but I like the dream sequences and that they're teasing that not everything is as it seems. Speaking of those beaky statues, the clue giving system in this game, it's fantastic. It gets me so excited because it's such a home run. They nailed it. You know why? Because they give you the choice with how deep you want to go in terms of uncovering what lies before you. You can stumble around and make your way around Colin Island at your own pace and take a lot longer trying to uncover the way that the designers intended for this story to go. Or you can go and pick up the phone and talk to Mr. Ulrira, who will give you a very pointed hint. But I love that they're scattered about the map. It's not in one location. They're always available to you, but you don't have to take them. I like to kind of fumble my way for a bit, and then if I can't figure it out, I go straight to the phone, because I don't want to waste tons of time being stumped. I'd rather have a little hint and then feel clever when I can figure it out, even if it's pretty easy. The phone system is actually a great metaphor for Link's Awakening as a whole, because you're phoning a friend, and to me, this game feels like an old friend. Now for some of you, it's literally an old friend. You played it decades before on the Game Boy, but for me, it feels like a friend. It's comfortable, it's warm, it's fuzzy, it's charming, it's enjoyable. There's some challenge there, some intrigue, some mystery, but for the most part, you fall into this routine and you just get to enjoy the great gameplay. Heck, you even learn the map super well, like you'd learn a really close friend. So when I go to pick up the Switch Lite and play more Link's Awakening, I'm filled with warmth because it's that kind of a game. It's also perfect for the Switch Lite, which I know. You can say that about any game because it's a Switch, and so all the games that were perfect on Switch are also perfect on Switch Lite. But Nintendo was really smart to release this one alongside the smaller portable-only system. I just think it's the perfect fit. There's a part of me that wonders how well this game will do because it is a $60 Game Boy reimagining, and you can grab the original on 3DS for $6, a tenth of the price. But I've seen that early sales have been doing super well, and I'm really glad. If you haven't played it before, it is a true Nintendo adventure, and one that I think you're gonna love. It's completely taken me by storm, and it reminds me why I love Nintendo. They nail it, no matter the year, no matter the system, no matter the franchise. And it's so good to have another Zelda on the Switch, albeit a totally different Zelda, but one that has won me over, just like its launch brethren. I'm so freaking happy that I've been having a blast with Link's Awakening, because I know I'm gonna love Luigi's Mansion 3 and Pokemon Sword and Shield, so adding this one in as we approach the final quarter of 2019, it's just like frosting on top of an already awesome year-long cake. Looking at the gaming space as a whole right now, maybe these developers are onto something. Borderlands 3 has been accused of being a throwback, but it's awesome. In some ways, Control is a throwback to linear single-player games of the past, but it's awesome. And Link's Awakening is absolutely a throwback to a game from long ago, but it's awesome. Is there a lesson here that maybe game design choices from the past could really help benefit games of the future? I know we're gonna still get all the battle royales and the games as service type titles, but it's been super nice to have a few great weeks of gaming goodness as it once was, like a purer time. And who knows, maybe if these titles are all really successful, maybe it'll lead to an even better path forward. Coming into Link's Awakening for the first time in 2019, it feels like Nintendo cherry-picked their best ideas off the shelves and crammed it all into one cart. Like, hey, let's grab the hookshot from over here, and Goombas from over here, some side-scrolling from here, some top-down from over here, some quirkiness, some mystery, some intrigue, some dungeons, some bosses, and they built this phenomenal game and giving a whole new generation a chance to experience this awesome ensemble. I think it's important to point out that for the most part, this game doesn't feel old. Like if you told me Nintendo went ahead and made a new 2D Zelda today, and this is what we got, I'd believe you. Yes, the structure of the game and its challenge does come from a bygone era, but for the most part, it feels right at home on the Switch in the current era. It's its quirkier elements that are the most adorable and the most endearing. You're collecting instruments, you find seashells to eventually get an upgraded weapon, you're singing songs with Marin and her animal friends, you're taking a chain chomp for a walk, and passing through Goomba-infested hallways. Like, this is a weirdo Zelda, and it's wonderful for it. So I love Link's Awakening, and I'm so glad I was so wrong about it. It's gonna go down as one of my favorite titles of the year, and one of my cream of the crop Switch games that I'm gonna recommend to all of you. If you've played it before, maybe have a little pause, maybe wait for a discount, but if you haven't, dude, this is such a good one to grab. Switch Lite, regular Switch, TV handheld, it's just a lovable game. It's like a good friend, and hey, we could all use another good friend. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Let me know your take on Link's Awakening in the comments down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. I appreciate all of your support so stinking much. I'm gonna go play more Switch, so for now, thanks again, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Switch Force, out.